Hey, welcome back. So I had made a video before about flipping a Tacoma, and it was kind of a joke, but I literally do often look for vehicles to buy and flip. I kind of stick to Toyotas because I love them, and they got a good resale value, and people love them too. So they sell easy, and you can get good money out of them. So this is our new vehicle to flip. You might be looking at it thinking this is your 4th gen, but if you look closer, no, this thing is much uglier and in much worse shape. Sadly, you know, it's disappointing when people don't take care of their vehicles, and this is a good example of it. Now, I picked this thing up for $2,000. It's got like 204,000 miles on it. It's 2-wheel drive limited, so it's got all the fancy stuff in it. It does have a V8. The V8 is an awesome legendary motor. I love that engine, the 4.7. But this thing is not without issues. Looking at it, you know, it just looks like the paint's faded a little bit. Inside, seats are ripped pretty good, dirty. Got some junk in the back. But, you know, like one of the window regulators doesn't work. Windshield's cracked. The AC don't work. And then when you get inside to start it, seems to run fine, right? But on these 4.7s, they have a air pump. It's called like a air injection pump or something like that, secondary air pump. And when that thing goes bad or the relay goes bad, it goes into a limp mode, and it just sucks all the power out of these things. You step on the throttle, the thing does not move. Even revving up, the thing won't rev up right. Probably overpaid with the condition that it's in, because it's got a significant oil leak, by the way, as well. So I'm gonna start on this side, on the passenger side over here, where it's a little more complicated. I'm gonna start by taking this air box off. There's 3 bolts in the bottom of this, so once you pull this off and then get those bolts out, you'll be able to pull this bottom assembly out of the way so I can get to these valve covers easier. All right, so once that's out of your way, you take this air intake off of here. Just gonna loosen this clamp a little bit. Just popped off of here. There's a couple hoses that go on here. We're gonna just squeeze off of here. So next, I think what I'm gonna do is just start taking these coil packs out. Here, these are a 10 millimeter. Set those in my professional bolt tray. Now these things should just pull right out of here. This would be a great time to do your spark plugs if you were gonna do a tune-up on this vehicle. Coil packs out. Let's see if we can take these 10 millimeter bolts for this valve cover itself off. All right, guys, pretty straightforward. I'm pulling these bolts out. Most of them are up here. You can see the shiny spots where the bolts were. There's 4 on top, 4 on the bottom, and there's 1 right here. The only one that's a little tricky to get to is down under there. The rest of them I could get with my impact. Pull this puppy off of here. Okay, she's loose. All right, so it seems to be hard to get out with this dipstick tube in the way. So there's a bolt down below through the wheel well. It's right back there. There's a bracket that holds it on. I'm gonna take that bolt off and just pull that back a little bit so we can get this thing in and out a little easier. All right, you can see here a little better. That bracket is now off here. There's just 1 bolt holding it on right here. Still giving me problems. Take this little clippy doob off here. Okay, now we're in business. All right, valve cover's off. Doesn't look too ugly in there. Somebody's been changing the oil at least somewhat frequently. Underneath, not too bad. Got a little buildup of gunk. Before you put the new one back on, be sure you clean the surface of where this valve cover is going to go against the engine here, against the cylinder head. Also, when you install this new valve cover with the new gasket, you want to put a little squirt of silicone right here in these corners as it goes up and over these cam gears, here and here. So it took me a minute. So these valve covers have these little coil pack gaskets, and I thought, well, it's not leaking from these, but since they gave them to me, I might as well replace them. If you look down here, pretty much the way to get these out of here. So I got 2 new ones in. You see this one's a little beat up because I got a little overzealous with that one. This is pretty much what's gonna happen. There's these 4 little tabs that kind of just hold these things in place. The only way I didn't find any information on how to do this. I'm just kind of figuring it out. So I'm gonna bend these tabs up just a little bit with a screwdriver. All the way around here. Just enough to get it up. So I'm gonna take my pliers and get up underneath it and just kind of pull them tabs back so they're out of the way. Do that to all 4. Okay, so then once all 4 of those tabs are out of the way, if you look closely, the edge of this gasket, it's hard to see, but it's right here. It's right on the edge of this metal and down here. These gaskets have like a metal. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my screwdriver and just go in on the edge real easy. And I'm just gonna kind of push them out like this. But just be careful. I mean, there's probably a proper way to do this, and this isn't it. But this is how you get the old one out, at least that I figured out. So then what I found, these are gonna have to be hammered in here. 23 millimeter socket, fits beautifully. Get yourself a 23 millimeter or like a proper, professional coil pack gasket installer, sleeve cylinder press, which is probably like $600 through Snap-on, or $5 socket. So I'm gonna set this in here like this, get my little persuader, give it a proper persuasion. She's flush. Shoo! I'm gonna bend these tabs down a little bit right here. Ooh, carefully. That's it, guys.
See the progress.
You learn, okay? You learn and you adapt. That's what happens. There's nothing wrong with that. This is the old gaskaroo here. She's crispy. Got some good splits in it. Very, very crispy. This is a new one. A little different. So, before you put this in here, clean the sucker out. Hit it with some brake clean. It's good for your plants too, guys. If you're into gardening and stuff. All right, coil pack gaskets are in. We got the new gasket installed here after we clean this all out. I'm gonna take a little bit of silicone and just hit these corners right here. I used some RTV Ultra Black gasket maker, oil resistant. Like I said, just make sure this is cleaned off where you're gonna set this new valve cover in here. Bolt her down and do the other side. Okay, so this side's all buttoned up and on. So, all right, we're gonna move on to this side, guys. I don't think this one will be nearly as hard. Okay, nothing really to note of exception on this side. If you've already done that side, the harder side, this side, it's gonna be a breeze for you. You don't have to take off any of these fuel lines or the lines here. Just a little bracket there you take off, and I took off this little ground wire, and then it comes right out. Take this hose off, slides right out. The only thing I did notice about this side on this particular vehicle, that there was an exceptional amount of gunk built up in the back corner of this head. So, but that seemed to be where like 90% of the leak was that was coming from this vehicle, was that back corner of that valve cover. So, maybe some crud was getting in there and making the oil build up and kind of gum up. So maybe that was the reason. But either way, so you've seen the valve cover gasket install on this vehicle. So that's pretty much it. We need to take this thing for a drive, make sure it doesn't engine smoke, but maybe make other kind of smoke. Oil smoke bad, tire smoke good. Let's go make some good. leak oil anymore. Problem solved. I didn't see any engine smoke or oil smoke. So that's gonna do it for the valve cover replacement. You guys got any questions, hit me up. You guys wanna see more videos on this 4Runner? Well, even if you don't, they're coming. I'm doing the secondary air injection bypass video. That's coming up soon. Stick around for that. And also a power steering. We're doing a power steering pump on this truck as well. So if y'all wanna see that, stick around. I got a video coming out on the Corolla soon. We did go to the track. It was a lot of fun. So man, I'll give you a cool video on that, or at least as cool as I can make it. All right, guys, thanks a lot.